What's going on, man? Back on another reaction video. I got 6 most disturbing theme park accidents ever recorded, man. Hey, if y'all like this type of content, like, comment, subscribe, hit the noti bell. Finna get into this one though, man.
Get ready for a terrifying journey through 6 of the most disturbing theme park accidents ever recorded, from fatal falls to shocking malfunctions. These stories will make you think twice before strapping in for a ride ever again.
Shoot, I already think twice about hopping on a roller coaster anyway, so.
September 15th, 2009. It was a clear afternoon at Knott's Berry Farm, the kind of Southern California day made for roller coasters and laughter. 12-year-old Kyle Wheeler and his father, Russell Wheeler, were there for one reason only: to ride the accelerator. The coaster was legendary, a sleek red and silver blur that went from 0 to 82 miles per hour in just over 2 seconds, rocketing straight up a 205
that thing goes straight up. What the world?
Just over red and
No
silver
wonder
blur.
why somebody got blessed off this thing. This thing goes 0 to 80, goes straight in the air immediately at 200 feet. I'm not feeling that.
Sleek red and silver blur that went from 0 to 82 miles per hour in just over 2 seconds, rocketing straight up a 205-foot steel tower.
No, sir.
Before plunging back
Won't
toward
catch
the
me
earth.
riding something like
For
that.
Kyle,
I promise you.
it was everything a kid could dream of: a burst of speed, a rush of air, a moment of weightlessness. His mother, Anita Wheeler, watched from below, camera ready, smiling as the two climbed into the front row.
I know that hurt to watch.
But what was supposed to be a perfect late summer afternoon would soon become one of the most horrifying moments ever captured on a theme park ride. Because seconds after launch, something gives way.
Oh my God! What the? His face alone is... A cable snapped? Oh, heck, nah. I would have been done all with roller coasters alone. All together, I would have been done. I would be like, bro, get me off this thing immediately. Get me off. And then this video having no sound ain't making this video no better, bro. They stuck and can't get off.
As the coaster train lined up for launch, a loud metallic creak.
I thought he was done for too. His head went down immediately. I thought he was cooked.
Echoed through the
I thought something hit him and
barely noticeable over the roar.
I thought he was dead. I ain't gonna lie.
Then, without warning, a thick launch cable,
Bah!
the same one meant to propel the train forward, snapped. The moment was recorded on video, luckily with no audio. You can see the cable whip loose, sending metal fragments flying in every direction.
I thought he was done for.
Forward, begins to climb, and then, horrifyingly, slides back down.
Nah, it's sliding back down and
Kyle Wheeler,
backwards.
seated in the front row, took the brunt of it. The cable lashed across his left leg, splitting the fiberglass car in half and lacerating deep into his muscle. His father, Russell, who sat right beside him, saw it all happen and was showered with debris and nearly struck in the face.
He did? What you mean nearly? He got hit in the face with that. What?
Scream. Frozen as the coaster she'd just seen speed off suddenly came crawling back, broken and silent. Later, in an online chat room, she would write, "I literally thought I had just watched my son and husband die in front of my eyes." Paramedics arrived within minutes. Kyle was rushed to the hospital, his leg badly injured, his father suffering minor wounds. In the months that followed, Kyle would endure multiple surgeries.
Ooh, it was that bad?
Tissue, grafting skin, and slowly learning to walk again through
It was that bad?
therapy. The investigation that followed painted a devastating picture. The state's Division of Occupational Safety and Health found that the cable showed gross amounts of fatigue.
And they didn't look.
The 20 launch magnets beneath the train had been sheared off by the force of the brake. Inspectors determined that the accident could have been prevented with proper maintenance,
Facts.
casting
Like, how do
blame
you
on
not?
both the theme park
I ain't gonna say
and
how
the
do you
ride
not like
manufacturer,
notice that, but like,
Switzerland-based
are you
Intamin.
are you not getting people to come out there and maintain your tracks? Matter of fact, don't you have people on the site to do these type of things? How do we not catch that earlier? I ought to sue somebody for that.
The Swiss company behind Accelerator had advised monthly inspections of the launch cable. Knott's, however, inspected the ride only once every 6 months. And by the time
Once
of the
every
accident,
6 months?
they were nearly 3 weeks behind schedule. The manufacturer
That should have been shut down if you're 3 weeks behind
was
schedule.
described as
UAT.
confusing and unclear, but regulators agreed. Warning signs had been missed. For Anita and Russell Wheeler, none of that mattered
Money-hungry
anymore.
people.
Their son's life had been changed
You ever
forever.
put a folks' life
We're
in danger
just
for being money
traumatized,
hungry?
she told a local newspaper months after the incident. Our lives have been changed forever. In 2011, the Wheeler family reached a confidential settlement with Knott's Berry Farm's parent company, Cedar Fair. The agreement covered Kyle's medical expenses, more than $60,000 at the time, and future surgeries to remove scar tissue from his leg. More than a year after the accident, Accelerator reopened. The park replaced the launch system, reinforced the track, and promised stricter inspections.
Nah.
Today, it still runs. The same speed, the same drop, the same thrill.
I feel like
But for those who remember September
even-
15th, 2009, that sound, the
that
snap of
that probably
steel under
sounds
pressure,
terrifying.
still
As you're
echoes.
going up,
A reminder that
That
even
probably
the strongest
sounded
metal
crazy.
can break. And when it does, lives can change in an instant. From a high-speed thrill that tore itself apart to something far slower, but somehow even more haunting. No roller coaster, just a quiet ride through the sky.
huh? What you mean by that?
August 14th, 2021. It was a warm summer evening at Lagoon Amusement Park in Farmington, Utah. The kind of night families go for one last ride before the sun dips behind the mountains.
Right.
Among the crowd that day was a 32-year-old man visiting the
Where is
park
this
alone.
man hanging from like
No one
that?
paid him much attention as he boarded one of Lagoon's most peaceful attractions, the Sky Ride. Unlike the park's towering roller coasters, the Sky Ride wasn't built for thrills. It was a slow-moving cable lift, carrying guests 50 feet above the ground, from one end of the park to the other. A quiet glide over
That's
the
supposed to be a
laughter,
little vibe.
flashing lights, and distant music below.
Right.
As the gondola began its
That
climb,
looks crazy.
everything looked normal. But then, halfway
see a
across the
grown
park,
man hanging
witnesses
from it?
began to notice something strange. A man was hanging from the side of the moving chair, one hand gripping the safety bar, his legs dangling freely above the concrete below.
You're just recording. You just recorded him, man. You didn't even ask if he's okay as what the? You didn't even ask, does he need help or nothing? You just record and question what he's doing.
Why is doing like that? She's practicing.
Talking about his discrepancy.
It's crazy.
At first, people thought it was a prank. Some laughed, others pulled
You
out
think
their
that's a-
phones. And
you
one
think
of
that's
them,
a
who
prank?
caught it on video, was Lucy Grace Estilla.
There's a guy hanging on that ride. Why is doing like that? Thinking this is just a professional gymnast or a stunt.
But this wasn't a
You
stunt.
can't. You
In
couldn't
Ethan,
have thought that. There's
hundreds
no
of
way you think that's a
parkgoers
stunt.
began to shout, "Hold on! Don't let go!" The Sky Ride kept moving, carrying him farther across the park as gasps spread through the crowd. And then, in a matter of seconds, the worst possible thing happened.
Oh, that does not
He
look like a
fell.
good grip.
The fall was roughly 50 feet.
Yeah.
Enough to cause catastrophic injuries. Witnesses described the sound as a
Splat?
thud that silenced everything.
That's not
Paramedics
funny.
rushed to the scene, Finding the man unresponsive but
Of
still
course you
alive,
found him
he
unresponsive.
was airlifted to the University of Utah Hospital in critical condition.
Blessed.
Doctors fought to save his life, but unfortunately, he wouldn't make it.
He was
2
blessed.
days later, police confirmed that the man had died from his injuries. They didn't release his name, honoring his family's request for privacy. What they did say was that the fall was not intentional.
I know it
The
wasn't.
ride, according to both park officials and state investigators, had not malfunctioned. It had passed inspection that very morning. The same inspection routine it had followed without issue since the ride first opened in 1974. For nearly
I had
50
to admit it.
years, Lagoon Sky Ride had carried
So
millions
you tell me
safely
that's the
across
only
the
angle
park.
of this.
Not
There's
once
no
had
park
anyone
angle of
fallen
this.
until that night. Investigators said the man was riding alone. No safety bar failure was reported. Witnesses recalled that he didn't appear to be struggling,
He
just
wasn't.
hanging there,
not
suspended
even-
in eerie calm.
He not
Police
even
couldn't confirm
sure.
whether he had stood up, slipped, or leaned too far over the edge. And then rumors began to spread online. Some claimed he had been intoxicated. Others whispered darker theories, that it might have been a
That it was
suicide,
suicide?
despite police statements to the contrary.
Oh,
But without any footage beyond those few haunting clips,
He just
no one
sitting
would
there
ever know for
hanging.
certain. Lagoon officials expressed their condolences in a public statement. Their spokesman, Adam Leichman, who has been at Lagoon for 30 years, said he could not recall another time in his tenure when someone had fallen off a ride. Not in my time here, no. Fortunately, no. We're deeply concerned for the individual and his family. We're also deeply concerned for the employees and guests who were impacted by this event. The Farmington Police Department concluded there was no evidence of a ride malfunction, and the investigation was closed without charges. Still, the footage remains online. A man dangling calmly above the park, the crowd screams echoing below. For many who were there, that image has never left their minds. And strangely,
Say,
it wouldn't be the
say he had dropped in that water. You think that was deep
Still,
enough to
the
catch
footage
him?
remains online.
No, it is not. Oh, he just
A
would have
man
been cooked.
dangling calmly above the park.
He just would have
The
been
crowd
cooked.
left their minds. And strangely, it wouldn't be the last time something like this happened. Almost 4 years later, in July 2025, a nearly identical scene unfolded.
See, that looks
This
unintentional
time,
though.
caught on a viral phone
The first
clip.
one doesn't make sense, but that looks unintentional. You see how they stopped that though? They're supposed to get noted. Like they see something weird like that, you're supposed to stop the ride. They didn't even stop the ride. They let it keep going. And then there ain't nobody calling nobody to stop it. How do you? That's so dumb. I don't get that. I don't know who's the bigger
A
idiot.
young man was filmed hanging from the exact same
The person
sky
who-
ride,
I don't get it.
His legs kicking as park guests scream below. Security and paramedics rushed to the scene.
Oh, security's right
pulling
here.
him
I mean,
down
I ain't gonna
before-
lie. Just let go, bruh. If you're standing right above the truck, just let go. What's the word? Like,
Tragedy could repeat itself.
he's not even that
Many
far
called
out.
him a copycat, imitating the 2021 fall, a haunting echo of a moment that should never have been repeated. The man survived. But for those who remember the first fall, that brief rescue felt like borrowed time, as if the sky ride itself had become a silent reminder that even the calmest attractions can hold the darkest stories. Because at Lagoon Amusement Park in Farmington, Utah, it wasn't a roller coaster that claimed a life. It was a slow ride through the air, one that gave people a view of the park, and for a few terrible moments, a
But you
view
gotta
of
be a-
tragedy unfolding
would-
right
nah.
beneath them.
How do you
One
get?
man's fall in Utah to a disaster on the other side of the globe. At a busy amusement park in India, dozens of riders climbed aboard a swinging pendulum, unaware of its pending collapse.
Excuse me.
July 14th, 2019. It was a busy Sunday evening at Kankaria Amusement Park in Ahmedabad, Gujarat, India. A place filled with music, color, and the sound of laughter
India.
echoing across the lake. Families gathered near the park's main attraction, a massive pendulum-style thrill ride called Discovery. For 32 people strapped into their seats, it was supposed to be a few minutes of excitement. A swing through the air, a scream, and a laugh before dinner. The ride began to move, slowly at first, then
it
higher
speed up.
and faster.
Then that thing
Its
speed up and
circular
get
frame
higher and
cutting
faster.
across the sky as spectators watched from below.
That thing there move
And
real
then,
quick.
in an instant, the unthinkable.
Come on, cameraman, bring the camera back up. Ooh, no! I feel like that. Oh no! How does that snap? How does that snap like that?
At 5:40 p.m., as the ride reached full swing, a loud metallic crack split the air.
I feel like they landed in the best way possible though, because they still landed in the downward motion instead of like somebody like saying it being like tilted, and like whoever's at the bottom catches it the worst. I feel like they caught it in the best way possible. They fell in the best way possible.
The seats and riders, still strapped in, were sent hurtling downward, crashing into the ride's main structure with a deafening impact. The moment was captured on video. You can see the pendulum rising to its peak, and then folding violently in midair. Dust and debris fill the screen.
Oh
the
no!
Adrenaline screaming stops.
Silence everybody got quiet.
Then comes fear. Witnesses say the sound of the impact could be heard across the park.
Yes.
2 people, later identified as 24-year-old Manali Rajvati and 22-year-old Mohammed Zaid Momin, were killed in an instant. 28 others were rushed to LG Hospital, many of them in critical condition. The pipe of the main shaft broke and crashed on the ground, said Fire Chief M.F. Dastur, one of the first responders at the scene. How that pipe broke is a matter of investigation by the Forensic Science Laboratory. The Discovery ride had a capacity of 32 seats. That day, 31 were filled. Investigators determined that the thick steel shaft connecting the passenger gondola to the ride's support column had fractured. A clean break caused by metal fatigue or possibly a hydraulic failure. The owners of the ride, a father and son named Ghanshyam and Bhavesh Patel, claimed the machine had passed all inspections. They presented years of maintenance certificates and government clearances. "We take all possible care," they said. "We had continuous inspections and clearance for the past 4 years. We still don't know how it broke, but for those at the park, the scene was beyond comprehension." Video taken moments after the collapse shows mangled metal, shattered bolts, and twisted beams. The gondola crushed against the concrete platform. Survivors can be heard crying out for help.
You can see where it hits on the corner.
Through the wreckage.
You can see where it hits on the corner, like right here.
Crying out for crushed against the concrete.
Like watch out right here.
Survivors.
Oh, somebody got blessed right there. Whoever was on this side, that's probably the 2 people that just died. Were on that side for sure. You can see it. They probably got,
as rescue workers tear through the wreckage. Ahmedabad's mayor Bijal Patel confirmed the scale of the disaster that evening. 29 people were brought to the hospital. 2 died on the spot. The rest are being treated within hours. The municipal commissioner, Vijay Nehra, ordered a criminal investigation to determine the exact cause of the accident. Soon after, 6 people, including the managing director of the park, were charged with culpable homicide not amounting to murder. Police alleged gross negligence and mechanical failure due to poor maintenance.
So they weren't maintaining.
One eyewitness later told reporters, "It was like the ground opened up. They fell with the ride. It didn't stop. It just shattered."
Yes.
2 young lives were lost instantly. Dozens more were scarred forever. many
That's
with
bad.
broken limbs, crushed ribs, or severe head injuries.
Nah, that's not
The
good.
investigation would later reveal that while the operators possessed the correct licenses, routine stress testing of the steel arm had not been conducted. Experts described the ride's failure as a catastrophic fatigue fracture.
Y'all
meaning
just
the
let it
metal
break.
had been
'Cause they
weakening
ain't
for
even-
months, maybe years,
That
without
means
anyone
that
noticing.
you're not testing your
In
product.
India,
then.
the tragedy reignited national debate over the lack of safety regulation in amusement parks. But for the families of Manali and Mohammed, no investigation or reform could undo that moment.
Nope.
The Discovery ride was dismantled shortly after.
You
What
got
remained
to.
of its steel frame was left as evidence, a monument to how one broken pipe could bring down an entire machine and the lives strapped to it.
I want to see it from this
And while
angle.
many prefer to forget, the video of that
No, it's
collapse
going
still
around Twitter like
circulates
crazy.
online.
That's
A
all over the
haunting
internet.
reminder of how thin
That'll
the
forever
line
be
can
there.
between thrill and tragedy. Because in Ahmedabad that day, excitement turned to horror in less than a second. And just when the world thought it had seen it all, another pendulum snapped. This time,
See, I don't think I ever want to hop on one of those now ever again. I've hopped on, you know, the boat version of this, and that's pretty cool. But after I'm seeing all these videos of this version, I don't even want to hop on one now.
because
Matter of
instead
fact,
of
and this
experiencing
the one that goes 360 in the air, 360 high in the sky. No, sir. Look how high it is upside down. I bet you somebody slipped off and fell. I bet you that's what happened
through
here.
the night sky, the onboarders
Well, I hope I didn't just pause my video on accident. Let me see. All right, I'm solid.
witnessed the closest thing to true horror. On July 31st, 2025,
And this was
a
recent.
warm summer night
This was
in
this
Saudi
year.
Arabia's Al Hada region of
And this
Taif,
happened
near
over.
the city
And
of
this happened
Jeddah,
in
an amusement park.
I don't think the
called
first one
Green
was in
Mountain
Saudi
Park.
Arabia, but
Something happened that would leave the world in shock. It was meant to be a peaceful
ain't
night
no-
out. Cool air, mountain views, and
I don't see
laughter
no- but,
echoing
like,
through the hills near Jeddah. But for those who stepped
handful of
onto
people
the
on it.
360 big pendulum, the night
no, bro.
would soon
Like
turn
big
into a
360.
nightmare. The 360 big pendulum,
No.
a well-known amusement ride, suddenly snapped in half, leaving 23 people injured and thousands in shock. What happened on July 31st, 2025
Oh my God.
was no accident. Something went
That looked like it was finna break right there.
first. 2025
Yeah, I would never hop on that.
Was no
Especially this
accident.
one in particular.
Something went terribly
A
wrong.
big 360.
Something that could have been prevented if it had been handled correctly.
Bro, the accident ain't even happened yet, but it just like the way that looks is crazy. No. I'm scared to see when actually like whatever happens, bro. Look how it's. Oh no! Somebody fell off of that. Oh, that's a hat. Oh, I thought that was a body. Oh, I thought they put a dead. Oh, I thought they threw a dead body on YouTube like that. Yeah, get me off
As
of
the
that
ride
thing.
begins to move,
Oh
it
no,
gathers momentum.
like this thing is
Swing
scared,
after
bro. This
swing.
thing is too big to be moving in that big of a direction like that. High in the sky, 360 all over the dang. That thing don't need to be moving like that. That's not.
Swing,
I don't
edging
think
toward a
that's-
full rotation. It never gets there. Seconds before peak speed, the structure fails. A snap, then steel and seats collapse into the platform. Panic detonates.
Nah,
Onlookers
bro,
stumble
that's not.
backward. Others rush forward,
I don't
shouting
think
over the terrified
That
screams
idea
that
of
follow.
a
Witnesses later
coaster
describe
or
a surge of terror and disbelief.
that should not be a
as the
thing.
carriage slams
This should
down
not be a
and
thing.
The crowd breaks into a run. By the time responders arrive, the scale is clear. 23 injured, 3 in critical condition, treated on site and rushed to nearby hospitals, while authorities seal the scene and order the park shut pending investigation. Some outlets note that the passenger wheel appears to land relatively flat, a grim stroke of luck that may help explain why no fatalities were reported. The accident prompted the region's governor, Saud Nahar, to immediately close the park and launch a full investigation into the cause of the crash. Authorities also began inspecting the park's other rides for potential safety issues. While the investigation is still ongoing to this day, the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission pointed to possible causes, including poor maintenance, faulty ride design.
I feel like ain't nobody maintained this thing at all. I wonder when this thing here was built. I forgot. I wasn't paying attention. Bro, there wasn't nobody maintaining this thing. And whoever made this thing didn't make it fully.
Or manufacturer defects.
Nah,
no matter what caused this failure, the result is the same. A tragedy that reminds us how quickly excitement can turn to fear, and how even the happiest places aren't always safe. But tragedies like this aren't bound by borders.
They was just getting to the peak of it too. Watch. They was just getting to the peak of it before it cracked.
Bound by borders. Thousands of miles away in China, families gathered for the Lunar New Year. The lights were bright. The air was alive with celebration. Until suddenly,
somebody went airborne off the swing?
Spun out of control.
Not off the swing.
February 13th, 2021.
I like this ride. It's pretty chill.
It was a clear afternoon in Shaoyang, a city in China's Hunan province, where families had gathered to celebrate the Lunar New Year. The air was filled with the sounds of laughter, music, and the rhythmic hum of spinning rides. At the center of the fairground stood one of its biggest attractions, the flying chairs, a colorful swing ride that lifted dozens of riders into the air, spinning them in wide circles high above the crowd below. At 3:40 p.m., the ride began just like any other time. The chains tightened, the seats lifted. But this time was different. No one knew it would be the ride's last. Witnesses said they heard an alarm, a sharp mechanical sound that cut through the music. The ride started spinning faster and faster. And then, in a split second, it all gave way.
Ooh! I hope that was just their phone and not the actual.
The entire swing assembly detaches from its axis, slamming violently into the ground.
You telling me I'm in full swing and the swing just say, nah, we done.
Metal shards and broken seats scatter across the pavement. Screams fill the air as riders and bystanders are thrown to the ground. When the dust settles, chaos takes over. 16 people, both riders and onlookers, are left injured, 3 of them critically. One witness told the Beijing News, the swing ride gathered speed and was going faster and faster. Then it fell off and hit the ground. Most of the injured were onlookers. Fortunately, we ran away quickly. Otherwise,
you telling me majority of the people that got hurt weren't even on the ride? They just caught the stray? Nah.
Been hit as well. Local authorities arrived within minutes. Paramedics carried the wounded to nearby hospitals, while police cordoned off the area. The bright, festive music of the fair had stopped entirely, replaced by the sound of sirens. Officials later confirmed the cause, a mechanical glitch. The park's management claimed that the ride had passed all safety checks less than a month earlier.
Obviously they didn't.
New Year celebrations began. But according to investigators,
obviously they didn't pass those checks if this happened.
Accelerating the rotation until the entire structure collapsed under its own momentum. The amusement park was immediately shut down, and several staff members were taken into custody for questioning. Videos of the incident began spreading across Chinese social media within hours, first from bystanders and then from one of the riders themselves. The footage captured the terrifying moment when their screams of excitement turned into cries for help. For many in Hunan, the sight was impossible to forget. a blur of color, motion, and panic
kid looks
that ended in
gone,
silence. And though
unconscious.
no one died that day, 16
Nah, that's
people
a
walked
big
away,
nah.
changed forever. A reminder that even the most ordinary moments of fun can turn in an instant. Speaking of shocking, what happened next?
See, and this one look bigger than the last one that just broke. This the same thing, but look bigger. I don't get it.
Would change safety standards across America. On our last case, we turned to a ride infamously known as the Fireball, marking one of the darkest nights in U.S. fairground history.
That contraption alone look kind of crazy now. I don't even
It was July
consider.
26th, 2017, opening night at the Ohio State Fair in Columbus, Ohio. The smell of popcorn, the flash of carnival lights, and the sound of laughter filled the air. The Fireball, one of the fair's star attractions, loomed high above.
I don't even trust like fair rides versus like you going to Six Flags. I don't even think you should be hopping on them fair rides, cause them those people put them rides up in like 30 minutes. They put them things up like prior towards the event. You know that's not stable. Why would we do this?
At all.
I mean, I guess for the fun. I can't ask. Well, I can't question why you'd hop on this because you're on here for the fun. You're here for the thrill.
Revolutions per
But
minute. That night, dozens lined up for the
bruh.
thrill. Among them was 18-year-old Tyler Jarrell, a recent high school graduate who had just enlisted in the U.S. Marine Corps. His girlfriend, Keziah Lewis, stood by his side, nervous but smiling. It was supposed to be a simple ride, one last rush before heading off to training.
it's always one last ride
Fireball
before you
lifted
leave.
into motion, gathering speed.
See, bro, like
Music
that don't.
blared through the speakers, and the crowd below craned their necks to watch the bright red machine
That
slicing
thing
through the
moving
air.
alright, but
Then, without warning,
Crack.
something went horribly wrong.
look how fast and high in the sky that is. Oh, you just blessed that man. While I'm looking at a dead body in the sky. Two dead bodies in the sky, high in the sky. They hit splat afterwards, bruh. That's so wrong.
At 7:24 p.m., the pendulum reached its peak, and a massive crack echoed through the fairgrounds. A full row of seats, with riders still strapped in, tore free from the arm of the
What
ride.
do you like? What? Like what? I want to see the original. I want to hear the sound. Look how fast and high that's in the sky, bro. That's not safe at all. I don't care. Wait, is there somebody falling off at the top? Or am I? Like, how does that happen?
7:24 p.m., the pendulum reached its peak, and a massive crack echoed through the fairgrounds. A full row of seats,
That's
with
a
riders still strapped in,
Yeah.
tore free
Wow.
arm of the ride and snapped
How?
into the air. In an instant, metal and bodies were thrown.
You just see they go shotty right, like that's just a dead body
Witnesses
in the
later
sky,
said
bruh.
2 riders were launched nearly 20 feet before hitting the concrete. Others were struck by flying debris. 18-year-old Tyler Jarrell was killed instantly. His body
Immediately.
thrown clear of the ride. 7 others were rushed to nearby
Slumbered.
hospitals, several in critical condition. Keziah Lewis, his girlfriend, survived, but suffered devastating injuries, crushed bones, internal trauma,
That's not
and more
cool,
than
bro.
$2
Like,
million in medical costs
not
that would
cool,
follow
bruh.
her for years.
you put in folks'
Franklin County
lives in
coroner
danger, bro.
and Nahi
Nah.
Ortiz later confirmed Tyler's cause of death: blunt force trauma to the head, chest, and lower body. His father described him as a young man who had a future until the disaster at the fair. The tragedy
That's
sent
why I'm like,
shockwaves
that's why I'm
across
like,
the
nah, you
country.
should have hopped on
For
fair
many,
rides,
The
bro.
question was simple: how could this happen?
Yeah, how does this
Fireball
happen?
had passed multiple inspections in the days before the accident. The state's chief ride inspector, Michael Vartarella, stated that it had
Trust
been
that man.
examined 3 or 4 times over 2 days.
I don't care what he examined. Do not trust that man. I don't care what he said he examined. Obviously, he didn't examine good
Cleared
enough.
to operate. Even that same morning, engineers had signed off. Yet, as later investigations revealed, there was a flaw no one could see.
What's that flaw?
According to KMG International, the ride's Dutch manufacturer, the Fireball's gondola support beam, the core steel tube that held the swinging arm, was suffering from excessive internal corrosion. The metal's wall thickness had been eaten away by years of stress and moisture, leaving only a fragile shell. When the ride reached full speed that night, the beam finally gave out. A catastrophic structural failure.
I don't even see.
Fairs across the U.S. immediately shut down similar pendulum rides for inspection. From
Yeah.
California to New Jersey, Indiana to Illinois. It was the kind of failure that wasn't supposed to be possible. In 2020,
It's
3
a-
years after the
took a man
accident,
life for no reason.
Ohio passed Tyler's Law, a new state regulation requiring stricter, more detailed inspections of fair rides, including mandatory structural testing.
How much more detail can it get? How, like, what are you not seeing? Like, what are you not seeing that?
And
Like, what are you
documentation
seeing that
for
makes
all
that
critical
says, all right, this is safe?
For Keziah, healing was long and painful. She underwent multiple surgeries, months of rehabilitation, and
She's
years
hurt.
of
I know
trauma
she's hurt.
therapy. In 2024, 7 years after the tragedy, a New Jersey court ruled in favor of the victims in their lawsuit against the manufacturer of the ride. Keziah herself received $20 million, half of it punitive, for what she endured. For
God,
Tyler's family,
it's not. I don't think no amount of money is worth what she just lost. Though, I don't think it matters. I mean, it still doesn't amount to what happens. Because you could have took somebody's life. Matter of fact, you did take somebody's life. You could have took her life. And everybody else was around. Man, I don't think money. It don't matter the amount of money.
no verdict could bring back the young man who'd been
Yeah.
weeks away from wearing a Marine uniform. And the Fireball? Despite the tragedy, the ride continues to operate
And
under
they
different
still
names
continue
across
to
the
use
US,
and they're gonna continue to
including some
push that
fairs in
ride.
Ohio. The manufacturer
That's
insists
crazy.
that all models are now safe.
I don't care what they say. Those models are not safe. Nah. I'm hurt by this. All I say is, bruh, don't hop on that pendulum. If you're gonna go to the fair, don't hop on that pendulum. If you do, better stay safe. Hey, if y'all like this type of content, like, comment, subscribe, hit the noti bell. I'm out this joint though, man. Peace.